Alright, so I want to react to some reviews on BestBuy.com of the PlayStation Portal. Now, obviously, it's sold out pretty much everywhere, so it's almost impossible to find. I think you can find it from PlayStation.com, but that's pretty much it. So I want to react to some of these, reviews, because if you know anything about the channel, I have been very critical of the PlayStation Portal throughout the time that, it has existed. I still find it really useless personally, but again, like I said, for those who do find use out of it, it's actually a really great device. I know I'm not the only one who was critical of this device. There's a lot of people who are critical of this device. Even tech reviewers who got the device in their hand, they were still very questionable about it. But I will say one thing, and I kind of looked into this more as the time went on, is that you can technically get to an internet browser. You can't actually do anything with it. You can only get to it, and then that's pretty much it. But if there's a way to find out, if there's a way to go ahead and hack that and mod that and actually install like custom software onto this, this could be one of the best devices in the future. So for right now, I'm going to say right now, it's very mid, but it could be great in the future. So let's read the reviews. Now we're going to start off from the worst reviews to the best reviews, because I want to see what people are complaining about and then what people at the end are very happy about and don't see it as a complaint. So close, but a miss for me. I am torn giving it 1 star. I feel like it deserves that. I went wired connection PS5. I honestly think I have a good connection as well. It's just not good. I was very hopeful. Controls were great. Screen really pops out on cut screens. It works with disc in PS5. It's just the gameplay is where it suffers big in my opinion, which is the main point. The motion blur gave me a headache. Lag in Mortal Kombat made it hard to tether moves. I do feel some games would be fine on it. I don't want to limit what games I can play on this. I tried a handful of other games with results will be returning instead of jacking up the price and selling on the marketplace. Wait, we'll be returning it instead of jacking up the price and reselling it. That's a W. WWW person then, not to just be a scalper / reseller and actually just return the device. Looks good, feels good in the hand, but that's it. Sadly, it's extremely inconsistent. It's comply updated. I have 1 gigabyte internet and it's just choppy. Disconnects constantly and just does not work as well as I'm hoping it would. Am I just like stupid or can I not read? Sadly, extremely inconsistent. Okay, no, I'm just apparently stupid. I just couldn't read for a second. But, okay, so this is interesting. So, I would figure the person who would complain about the internet problem would be someone who actually had an internet, like a, low-end internet connection. This person claims to have a 1 gigabyte, which is actually really freaking good. And they're not able to actually connect well with the device to the internet. Okay. Stutter King, extremely laggy, returned. Horrible experience with this device. Constant frame skipped, unplayable. Now, this is actually a problem with this device when it comes to the lagginess and skipping frames. But it's because some games work perfect on this device and some games do not. And the games that do not work good on this device look awful on this device. Now, again, the ones that look great actually work great. But again, there's a fine line between the ones that work great and the ones that are freaking awful. And the freaking awful, you get very quickly, you start to see how bad they are. Looked promising. Tried this out for a few days and it was a good product. It looks nice. It's really lightweight. It doesn't feel heavy on your hands. But the issue is, I have with this is it's a lot of lag. I mainly play first-person shooters online. Even the minimum lag makes a difference. So this I couldn't really recommend for online play, but I could see a casual player using this for a storyline based game where it doesn't really affect the game if it's laggy. Yeah. Again, it's just one of those concepts that you're playing remote play, right? you're having a device connecting to a PS5 remotely, and you're trying to get that to work, there's going to be problems with everything. I mean, internet problems, latency problems, if the game's not optimized. Like, you have to keep in mind, these game companies, they're not making these games for an 8-inch display. They're not. A lot of these game companies are making these, games for a 29-inch display, a 55-inch display. They're not making them for a little small display. So when you're playing a full game on a little display, you're probably going to have chippiness and problems. Wi-Fi connection issues. Yeah, constantly connects and disconnects to Wi-Fi. I have other devices without any connection issues in my home. The PS5 also connects perfectly to Wi-Fi. And yeah, that's another problem, is some Wi-Fis maybe just won't work with this device. And that's a, $200 problem. And if your Wi-Fi doesn't work with the device, now you have a $200 paperweight. Hold device, save your money. Use your iPad/iPhone for remote play. I know a lot of people who really stand by that personal opinion. Not worth it. Just use your iPad or iPhone and then PlayStation Portal. Had it for a couple of days. The PlayStation Portal was very buggy. Part of it due to the Wi-Fi. The overall experience was not good. Wouldn't spend my money on this. Alright, so I kind of want to now go up to 2 stars. Because this is people who actually liked it, but didn't like it. Great idea, horrible execution. Awesome idea. Fits my use case perfectly. Fortunately, it just doesn't work well enough to recommend. Even with a gigabyte internet while wired to the PS5 and sitting right next to the router, it's unplayable stutter. It has an unplayable stutter. And again, this is a lot of the issues I've been hearing too, is people who have great internet connections are right next to the routers or right next to the PS5s, and they still have stuttering and problems and issues. Need a good connection before buying, laggy, let down, needs an update, nice design, terrible execution, no media. And I think this is kind of going to be copied and pasted pretty much over and over again as we go down here for that said reason. Now, you get into the more positive feedback of this. And I think this comes down to a lot of people who do have really good internet connection, right? And are able to really connect to the PS5 perfectly. And again, they might be playing certain games that really works well with the PlayStation Portal. So it says, close but no cigar. In my honest opinion, I feel PlayStation missed the mark a little bit. Start off with the screen. It would have been amazing if it was an OLED screen and higher refresh rate, which makes playing online AAA games more enjoyable. Hopefully the next gen will provide one. I wish it came with an LTE option. It's a bit of a nuisance defaulting your PS5 settings, 1080p, and other settings to work with the Portal. And again, like I said before, these are all sacrifices you have to make. And the sad part is you're sacrificing you're making, and then you're spending $200 on top of that, right? So, yeah, it's interesting. Let me see the more positive reviews here. So, best remote play experience, okay. Dad Station 5. Weak Wi-Fi. Easy setup. I feel like the device is a little delicate. I hope they come out with a case for it soon. Wi-Fi connection gets weak sometimes. Alright, so this person gave them 4 stars, but they still said there's a problem with the Wi-Fi connection. Very cool, fun item to use, but cannot use Spotify. Great device with room for improvements. Nice use of a dedicated remote play for home use. Good for what it is. Great start. Gen 2 needs some additions. I love how that's 4 stars. People are still being like, great device, but they really need to do better at the next one. Parent gaming bliss, streamlining remote play, and not perfect but great. PlayStation heaven, great step forward. How can it be so light? Yeah, again, like I said, listen, I'm gonna take back a little bit of my opinion on this device, okay? Because I was very harsh on this device, and I was very like, oh, this is trash, it's not worth it, it's not worth the money, it's overpriced, etc. And looking back at it now, I was very, quick to make a decision on this device. And I think, again, for the correct demographic, this is not a bad device. It's not. But it has to be for the correct demographic. And it has to be for a select amount of people who will actually take advantage of this device in the correct orientation. Now, based on what these reviews say, there's people who still have great internet and still can't connect to the device. But if you play the select few games that do work perfectly with this device, you're playing it very close to your PS5, you're playing it with a router next to you, you have good Wi-Fi, you're going to be fine. And you're going to love this device. If any of those situations are not you, you're probably going to have problems with this device, right? And the Gen 2, as many people said, will be better. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next one. Peace out.